to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you. The heart of a lion, a team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to YSN Live for this Monday, the 2nd of June, 2025. DJ Yokley and Anthony Ronald Hartwig with you here. Anthony repping Tennessee.
Yep, the softball team's in the semifinals today, so go Orange.
It's weird that you're wearing Tennessee and not Georgia Tech right now.
Well, I got a Tennessee wall back there, so.
Eyes are burning from that orange. I say that while I wear a Tampa Bay Bucks hat, by the way. So
yeah, you're not a Steeler. You're not a Bucks fan, right?
Tom Brady played for the Buccaneers. You know who I'm a real fan of right now? If we're talking about jumping ship. The Indiana Pacers, baby.
Oh, man.
Hey, Eric Hughes. Hacha.
Hacha.
Oh, it's been fun. We had a great, depends on kind of what side you're on. A great weekend from a sports perspective. Obviously, some tough losses, some great wins for our teams. No show on Friday because I was on the way. Thanks to our dear friend, Mr. Will Otis, for driving so I could do some work, some clerical work on the way to Mentor,
Yeah,
Ohio,
right.
and watch the Cardinal Mooney Cardinals, the bad guys. Watch them absolutely destroy Keystone. Like, just limb by limb, just picking people apart. Ford Stacy, an absolute dog on the bump. I mean, Mooney showed up to play, winning their first district crown since 2013, I believe. I always get that mixed up, 2013 or 2012. I think it's 2013. But forgive me if I am off on a year. I think in 12 years. So that would make it 2013. Ryan Reese showing up to ball out. He's delivering RBI blows. Ford Stacy getting it done, not only on the bump, and dude was dealing on the mound, but also at the dish as well. Had a 2 RBI triple to kind of get Mooney started in the top of the first when we were kind of going through a little bit of struggle with technical difficulties. Found out internet piracy is like a real thing, like in a press box. Like they will steal your internet. I thought we were locked up. Thought we were locked up, man. I don't know enough about internet, apparently. I only have a internet company. So we weren't able to get on. I had to fire up like 3 different hotspots. And, finally, thank God for the great people at Verizon, because we finally were able to get on and get locked in. So, tell you what, good weekend for Mooney. They play now in the regional semis on Wednesday, which we will be there for that one.
Yeah, Mooney was one of the only baseball games that got done on Friday because there was so much weather here in the area. I think Mooney and the other game at Minter was played, and I believe the 2 games at Parma were the only 4 baseball games that didn't have to be pushed to Saturday.
I don't remember another team being on the field at Mentor after the game because after
Right.
the win, Mooney kind of lingered around. I don't.
Maybe,
There not?
maybe there wasn't a YSN teams at Minter, but I just assumed that every district hosted 2 district championships.
But
So I
Hubbard
could be
and
wrong.
Canfield will play tomorrow.
Yep, Hubbard and
That's a big
Canfield.
one.
They both got the wins on Friday in Lorraine, I think, and then we also saw
Thursday.
St. John
Thursday night.
get the win over Waterloo, and St. John is advancing to the regional semifinals as well as Warren JFK.
And that's going to be, we'll have that game for you. Sam Torres has already confirmed he is going to that game.
Also, Gerard, can't forget about the Indians making the upset over Ursuline and punching their ticket to the regional semifinals. They will play before Canfield at Thurman Munson on Tuesday.
Gerard making a late push for team of the year. Like a late push for team of the year because what they're doing right now is they are in a one team magic carpet ride, my friend. And they are just playing with house money, just shoving it all into the table and say, all right, come beat us. We're not supposed to be here. Nobody thinks we should be here except us. Come finish the job. And nobody's been able to do it. Has that surprised you?
No, I mean, you play in the NE8, and right now there's another NE8 team left, and one fell in the district championship. So there were 3 NE8 teams in district finals with Poland, Hubbard, and Gerard. You play in that conference, get tested, right? And Cam Herrick, we talked to him this season. He's a dog, and it's one of those 1-2 punches. He pitched really well, and when that happens, you can make runs in the tournament.
I'm excited, man. I'm really excited for the baseball. It's a stage behind softball, which we're going to get to here in a moment. We got all hour or whatever we need to talk about, what we expect on the softball side. But baseball being a kind of a week behind everybody, dude, how do you not get pumped up about this time of year? How do you not get just your wheels greased and ready to go? Because these teams are playing the best baseball out of anybody right now. I don't know how you look at this and you go, wow. I mean, you look at kind of how Mooney started. And I hate to go back to Mooney, but like nobody gave them a shot at all because they're too young. They don't have this. They don't have that. Buddy, regional semis.
Especially after the first 4 games of the season, they didn't look like a team that was going to go to the regional semis, but they kind of had that come to Jesus moment a little bit. They turned things around and they got together as a unit.
Come to Jesus because they're from Mooney, right? Was that a pun?
Pun
Intentional?
Intended. Pun intended.
Okay. All right. Hey, well done. Well done. I like it. The injuries, and we talk about injuries for other teams, the injuries, the setbacks that Mooney had to go through. But I'm going to tell you one thing that probably not what most people want to hear. When you hear Cardinal Mooney, everybody wants to be the hero. Dude, they've embraced the villain role. Like, I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and listen, there is nothing against Cardinal Mooney at all with this. But for some reason, everybody hates him. Everybody hates the success that Cardinal Mooney has, and it's specific to the baseball squad, right? They don't like, the arrogance, the confidence, whatever you want to call it, that Mooney has. They don't like it. And I think when this team embraced that, hey, they don't like us, we can be the bad guys. We can wear the dark hat into town. I'll tell you what, they us against the world mentality.
Right.
Dude, they're doing it. And they're doing it. A 9-0 win in the district championship. Are you kidding me with that?
Well, it's fun. You're wearing that Tampa Bay hat, and that's exactly what the Patriots and then Tom Brady kind of did. They embraced the villain role. You got to do it when you reach a point when everyone tries to, it starts to hate you for what you're able to do. You got to kind of either fold to it and get affected by it, which we've seen teams do in the past, or you turn around and you embrace it and you just say, okay, you don't want us to win. We're going to break your hearts and stomp over it. And that's what Mooney kind of embraced. Like, they know that teams don't want them to win. They know that probably the area probably kind of rooting against Mooney. They don't care.
Which
They
is
want to go out
weird.
and they want to go out and win.
I mean, in baseball and softball specifically, the majority of these kids have played with the majority of the
Yep.
kids that play baseball. So I think it's kind of like the movie. Like my wife, love her to death. When we're watching Disney movies, she's actually rooting for the villain. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, the way this ends up, right? And I think most people follow that. Like when you're talking about your baby boy, your baby girl that's playing on the diamond, you're like, okay, nobody dislikes. And then there's a little bit of chirping going back and forth. Tell you what, things got real loud at Cardinal Mooney. Things get real loud at Scene Park when Mooney's there. But I'll tell you this. Once they embrace that villain role, once they embrace being the bad guys, and some people might sit there, point at this and go, this isn't true. I beg you to look a little deeper.
Yeah.
They are the NWO. They are the CWO. They are the Cardinal World Order right now. And I'll tell you what, dude, print the shirt because these dudes are legit. I mean, you look at what they're able to do. And at the beginning of the season, when they were getting their wins, they were relying on one or two guys in the lineup to get them one run pushed across or steal a base or steal a bag and get something going. Now it's, hey, we see you, we get you, we're going to pick you up. And, they just have an appreciation for each other. And I think when you're at this stage, and it makes me think of the 2018 South Range baseball team, because they weren't liked either. And they didn't even necessarily like each other up until they were hugging with a championship in their hands, right?
Yeah.
And that's a story that can be told another day. But I think there needs to be that sense of camaraderie that, okay, we can do this. We can either be liked or loved as individuals or hated as a team and flip it in that clubhouse. We love this team, but we hate us as individuals, and that's what they're doing. Hey, whatever works, right? At
Whatever
this stage,
works, buddy.
whatever works, because, they are successful in their theory for the first time in the last 12 years. That's 3 generations of Cardinal Mooney Cardinal baseball teams that have come through unable to win a district title. And now you've got those guys. I mean,
they're
Ben
taking
Otis.
on Apple Creek Waynedale, who I believe is the team that knocked out South Range last year.
It's always Waynedale versus South Range. It's always Waynedale versus South Range.
Now it's Waynedale versus Mooney. So we'll see if Mooney can avenge the YSN family a little bit.
And I'll say this, and it's probably blotter for Apple Creek Waynedale, but when you're talking to some of those guys, I said, well, who do you think you're going to play? Their eyes are on Waynedale. We want Waynedale because these guys want to be tested.
Yeah.
These are guys that are, most of them, still sophomores and juniors. I mean, you're talking about a smaller senior class, a smaller class of guys that are going to move on. Excuse me. But there's a little bit of that swagger. There's a lot of bit of that swagger if you're asking some people. But you're looking at a team full of guys that have enough confidence, not cockiness, confidence, that they go, we don't care. We're playing our brand of baseball. And you can't doubt them because what? A 9-0 win over Keystone, was it 5-0?
I think it's 6-0 over South Range. So
6-0 over South Range. Thank you. They got that late run.
Back-to-back shutouts.
I mean, your last 2 games, 15-0 combined. So, hey, they got the 1-2 punch. Otis and Stacy, absolute dogs. They dipped into their bullpen only to get Taco some bullpen essentially against South Range. Look out. And then Canfield, the way that they won, they were up big.
Yep.
And then things got a little bit toiter.
Got a little bit hairy.
A little bit toit, like a toiger. And now this is the craziest part. And we got Canfield Cardinals versus the Hubbard Eagles.
Battle of the Birds.
Songer and Groner. I have to imagine, unless something goes completely askew, Songer versus Groner, which could be the pitching battle of the year at the regional semi level.
Right.
Come on, dude. Get your popcorn ready. Get those
We're talking
popcorn
about-
buckets out. Let's go.
You talk about 1-2 punches. I mean, what Hubbard's doing in the pitching for this tournament with Gabe Rusnak right behind Braden Songer. I mean, they're shutting people out too. They have the pitching to make a run, and Canfield's going to be up against that pitching staff. So Hubbard is looking at their makeup and saying, we have the pieces to make a deep run, and I think they do. Maybe a little bit more offense they'd want than they've gotten so far. I think they only scored 3 in the district championship. But when you're shutting people out, you only need 1, right? You only need 1.
I'm going to make a prediction. Hey, hang on. I don't have the Yostradamus hat on. 3-1 tomorrow, one way or the other. 3-1. And I don't know, and I'm not going to tell my opinion on who I think is going to win. I just think it's going to be 3-1 final.
And DJ's calling the game, so he can't make a pick. He's pulling the Kirk Herbstreit.
I'm just saying 3-1. I love 31. It's my favorite number in the world. It always will be. But I will tell you, 3-1. I think that's where it's. I was close on Mooney versus Range. I called 5-1. So there were 6 runs in that game. I was just off on the final score.
Don't want to forget about McDonald, who also got the win in their district championship. They are moving on. They play Tiffin Calvert, which is a team that I don't think we've ever come across in our coverage.
You know what that means? It's a bad day for Tiffin Calvert.
Bad day for Tiffin Calvert. They'll be playing in Oberlin College on
Oberlin
on Tuesday, right after Warren JFK and St. John.
Oh,
so.
Hey McDonald, if you want that streamed, I know a guy that's going to be out there.
Contact us. We'll get you sponsored.
We won't get you sponsored. You will get us sponsored, and we will do the game.
We'll take care of you if you get sponsored, is what I should have said.
That's it. Come on, McDonald. We got you, baby. We got you. But you talk about that JFK versus Ashtabula St. John. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Ashtabula St. John. Okay. It's on our website. Sam did a great job on the write-up. First time in 40 years.
40 years.
40 years to win a district title. We talked about Mooney waiting 12. 40, that is 10 generations of Heralds, fighting Heralds that have been waiting for this. Congratulations. Hey, St. John, we see you. Congratulations. What a feather in your cap to have. I mean, is this a team of destiny? I don't know.
We'll see. We're going to find out real quick because they're going up against a very strong JFK team that doesn't have the quote unquote pristine record, but everyone has to remember they play almost exclusively up in their schedule. They don't play a lot of Division 7 teams. So they're kind of licking their chops in the Division 7 tournament a little bit.
And I got a question for you. Is JFK good at baseball?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're good at baseball.
I think they're pretty much good at everything. When you look at, and they just continue to just keep their heads down.
Yep.
Keep grabbing their lunch pail, putting their hard hat on, going to work. This is what they want. They want and I love it about JFK. We talked about Mooney, like JFK. Okay, don't talk about us. We're cool. Yeah. We're good. We're just they got Tiger Carfagna. Tiger Carfagna. Okay.
Who we can pronounce now?
We got you now, Tags.
We got you now.
We got you, baby. We got you, Tags.
Captain Tag.
Don't worry. I mean, you look at what these guys have to offer. I mean, they've got a stud freshman in Landon Snyder.
Oh, wow.
They've got, Freddie Bolshock is like 85 years old out there. I mean, feels like he's been around forever, just slinging pearls. This dude, like they've got the weapons. And like you said, we're going to be talking about them a lot, I feel like, because they don't play D7 teams. They're playing absolute dogs. Was it Lake
Catholic?
I was get that
Middle
one
Lake Catholic, yeah.
I mean, aren't they playing for a regional still?
I'd have to confirm that because they're not on our spreadsheet because they're not a YSN team, but they could be because they're
better,
really
Lake Catholic. Get better, Lake Catholic. You can do better. You can be on the spreadsheet too.
Get on the family.
But honestly, you look at what JFK's done, and you said it's not a favorable schedule to them. But when you get to here we go. Swiney's in here.
He knows.
Here we go. Swiney has entered the chat. Girard defeated West Branch in first tourney game and has been on a West Branch type of tourney run since then.
That's true.
There, I knew it. Anthony. Lake Catholic playing Girard.
Oh,
They
it's
are
right
on the
there.
spreadsheet.
They are on the spreadsheet. Anthony's dumb.
Way to go, Lake Catholic.
Way to go,
Way to
Anthony.
be on the spreadsheet. If you were wearing a Georgia Tech jersey, you'd probably would have
I
seen
know.
that.
I know. My bad. I'm off. Feeling off.
Jump ship on you. Ramblin' Wreck. No longer home to Anthony
That
Hartwig.
is not the truth at all. We're the Steelers. They're feeling pretty bad too.
The Steelers got their own problems. Let's face it. Let's face it. They're waiting on a quarterback. They're not waiting on DJ Yokley.
We're both proven that we can support multiple teams if we want to. But
just
we
like
still have
that.
that one. Still have that one. If it was Tom Brady versus the Steelers, you'd be rooting for the Steelers. And if it was Tennessee versus Georgia Tech in softball, I'd still root for Georgia Tech. So,
Don't say that
but
too loud, pal.
I had friends to go to play for Tennessee, and a soft spot for Tennessee softball a little bit.
I have no friends on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll
I know
tell
you
that.
don't.
I just like the hat. We were in Tampa
like-
Bay. I said, let's get this hat. Let's do this. Let's rock this. And hey, looked pretty good this morning. Grab the hat. I had an early wake up call this morning, Ant. I don't know if you knew that. Little early wake up call on national television.
Oh,
Yeesh.
yeesh.
Yeesh is right. If you haven't seen it, don't go looking for it.
Don't go.
Not my best opportunity. Also, good luck to the Mohawk Yes baseball and softball teams in the PIAA state tournament. Okay, so let's address that now before we get to softball, because we've been asked, why are we not covering Mohawk baseball, softball? You want to take this one, Ant?
To my knowledge, you'll be able to speak the specifics, but I think the Pennsylvania charge is way more than the OHSAA charge when it talks about how much we'd have to pay to broadcast those games.
$1 million. Not really. It's $1,000. It's $1,000, but it might as well be $1 million. Come on. Like, what are we? Where does that even go?
If you thought your $200 sponsorship was expensive, I mean, if you give us $1,500, we'll broadcast your game.
What did you pull $1,500 out?
I don't know. I was just trying to go a little bit more than the charge. That's where my brain went.
Anthony's running for-profit business here, folks. This isn't your typical lemonade stand. He's doing double charges here. Hey, way to go, buddy. Way to look out for number one. I love it. All right, let's get to some softball, because I didn't think it got much better than Champion versus South Range. And I don't think it does, especially if you're South Range, because the Raiders come up just short on Saturday morning. The game's supposed to be played on Friday. You were actually supposed to have that game.
Yeah.
And it gets postponed to 6:30 and then postponed further to 11 a.m. the next morning. You end up going to the Boardman-Louisville game. Yours truly going to the South Range, Akron-Manchester game. And, man, it was good. It was really good. Just not favorable to the team that we follow. And I got to be honest with you, I was bumming the whole way home, dude.
Yeah.
I was bumming. And the girls left it all out there. You felt awful at the end of the game because there was a chance to win it, a walk-off fashion, Gabby Spooner, and then a pop-out to end it. And what stinks, no, it sucks. It's like she caught that. Where did you go? Oh, you're coughing. All right. It scared me. She caught that Spooner pop-up right in front of the South Range bench, right in front of the South Range dugout, which, your heart aches because Raiders were down pretty much the entire way. You know, it was back and forth. It was 3-1 in the 6th or 7th. I can't remember.
I think it was 6, and then I think Rupert, right, tied it with a double to make it 3-3.
Yeah. 9-hitter Ashley Rupert ropes it in the left center field. and, brought the cavalry home. And then you look at just how it ended. I mean, the jet stream was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, and Manchester took such care of, hey, we're going to put the ball up. And credit to the girls. Credit. I'm not going to say it was all the whipping wins that was at YSU that day. But what I'm going to tell you is 3 solo jacks for Akron Manchester.
Right.
One of them coming out of the 9-hole. Like, you look at that and you go, okay. But South Range just could not get solid contact other than, I think, the Rupert double that scored 2 that made it 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a whole lot of solid contact to be had. And you had questions, right? We had questions going into that game because even though it was Gabby Gradishar with 18 strikeouts, that's not typically South Range's MO, is that many strikeouts. So you had some questions about the offense going into it. And there was an interesting call at second base, to say the least. I thought Spooner had the base stolen, which would have changed the entire complexion of the game. Thought the tag was a little high. Girl had to go up, catch it, come down, look like Gabby was in there. My opinion. I'm not saying it was a wrong call or a bad call. My opinion. The tape may or may not back me up. But bang, bang call. It was made. South Range ends things in the regional finals. Great season for South Range again. Great season.
Ashley
Well
Rupert,
done, ladies.
by the way, pitched her heart out for those 2 regional games. I know, she's probably going to sit there and think, well, I gave up 3 home runs and maybe down in the dumps a little bit from that. But you look at what she did against Champion. I mean, that she had to be at her absolute best every single pitch because it was scoreless in extras. You give up one little mistake to the Flashes, especially in the top of that order when you're putting Gabby on the way that the coaching staff did. You lose that game before you have the chance for Selena to steal home. So Ashley Rupert really pitched well, kept them in the game for that whole time while it was 3-1. Didn't let Manchester build any cushion or any insurance runs, and really just pitched extremely well. So I know it's tough to swallow for Ashley. I'm sure she kind of was hard on herself for a little bit after that game, but nothing to be salty about for what Ashley Rupert did this year.
Not a chance, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, you're right. The pitcher's always going to get the brunt of the blame.
Yep.
And you look at, but without Ashley Rupert, they don't beat Champion. I'm telling you right now. Without Ashley Rupert, it's not a 5-4 game. What was supposedly going to be an asset for South Range this year and being able to lean on multiple pitchers, you quickly saw it turn into a 2-horse race.
Mm-hmm.
And DeJesus and Rupert. And I think when you look at, that game, and I think I even mentioned it during the broadcast that, will Coach DeRose make a change heading into the late stages of this game and go with DeJesus just to give a different eye level, just to give a different arm slot, because obviously Selena is a lefty. He danced with the girl who brought him. And I think there's a lot of respect there. And I respect the entire coaching staff for doing that. Not that Selena didn't have just as good of an opportunity to make something happen, but the loyalty to Ashley for getting them there and the way that she pitched in that Champion game. They went toe-to-toe with Gabby Gradishar and then went toe-to-toe with this Rachel Baker, who just she was dealing. She was dealing that day. Point blank. She was hitting spots. Now, nothing against the Manchester fans, because I think everybody could hear it through my headset, but like they wanted every single call. And the catcher setting up in the opposite batter's box and not moving her glove, that doesn't mean it's a strike if the catcher doesn't move their glove.
Hey, you always want the calls, right?
I get it, but I'm like, geez, Louise, like that's we try to poke the umpire. We trying to sell us a little bit for Ms. Baker.
When you're playing a team that has went to 3 straight state semifinals and you're trying to knock them off, you want every call you got, right?
And that's what it was. I mean, looking around when South Range tied the game at 3, it was almost as if Manchester was preparing for a funeral. Like it's just what it felt like. And I'm not trying to be funny. It's just I looked to my right and you could tell they were just like, oh boy, this is it. They're going on their run right now. And I kept saying that burgundy and gold magic. Do we have enough left in the bag? Do we have enough sprinkles to just pour it out? Yeah. And it turns out we did. And it was a rough. Good.
That one extra run in the 8th was the one that did it, because they did. South Range came and scored in the bottom, right? DeJesus got an RBI before Gabby Spooner came up to the plate, so it was 5-4. That one extra double in the top of the 8th was the one that did it.
Well, I'm not a softball expert like you, right? And I mean that with all complete respect. You're the king, right? When it comes to softball. No outs, runner on second. You're Manchester. You're now up 2. Why wouldn't you? And I can say this now because they won the game and move on. But like, why wouldn't you bunt that runner over from second to third?
Every day of the week, I would.
Because if you're up 3 on South Range, it's like 100 at that point in the 8th inning. You know what I mean? Like the difference in softball and baseball between the second run and the third run is huge. Huge. And then, I couldn't get over it. Some of the Manchester fans got on me after the game. They're like, you don't know what you're talking. I'm like, okay, there's no outs. There's a runner on second. You have a 2-run lead on South Range, who, again, like you said, have been to the state semis the last 3 years consecutively. Why are you not trying to pour it on at this point?
Right.
I don't care if it's your 4-hitter. I don't care what hitter it is in the lineup. Put the ball down. Like, get it done. Get that runner over, so then you've got 2 outs, 2 bites at the apple to score that runner, and you go up 3.
Hopefully it wasn't one of the ones where, like, the coach put down the button sign and the player was like, I mean, because that's happened before. A player thinks they can hit a bomb or something.
Didn't feel like it.
It
felt like and again, I'm not criticizing. I guess I am a little bit criticizing the coaching, but like, come on. That's small ball and softball is everything. The attention to detail is everything, because in softball, and correct me if I'm wrong, everything is magnified.
Mm.
Everything is magnified. You miss a pitch by this much, it can change the entire complexity of the game.
And even if it was someone that had never bunted before or doesn't bunt a lot, I still think you take that chance, because you waste at least a strike or maybe 2 to try to get that runner over. We remember that Canfield state semifinal a couple of years ago. Faith Morrell comes up. She had never laid down a sacrifice bunt all season, had a goose egg in the sacrifice bunt column in the stats. She lays down that suicide squeeze with a runner on third. Canfield walks it off. You just have to put the players in that position to kind of try to do something for you. If it's 6-3 in the 8th, that Gabby Spooner at bat gets a lot less nervous, because even if she hits a base hit, it ties the game and doesn't win it with runners on second and third. So yeah, that run would really come back to hurt them if Gabby Spooner comes through with a base hit and scores 2.
Well, and that's what I'm trying to say, because if in the alternate universe where Gabby Spooner belts that ball like she does 9 times out of 10 into left center or right center, South Range walks it off, and we're talking about South Range being in the state semis. If that call goes to, and we can do ifs and buts and candies and nuts and all that stuff, but what I'm trying to say is, if you're at the Final Four level, which Akron Manchester is right now, you can't miss that the next time. Like, you have to do it, and you have to be able to be buttoned up and ready to go. And even if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do it because we got no outs, we can always do it. If that runner doesn't score, and she didn't, and South Range puts another opportunity together, and if the wind blows one way, that thing goes, right? That cost you your championship. That cost you a regional championship because you didn't go by what you're supposed to do in that situation. And that's where I think you and I have talked before, like small ball, as Jim pointed out, there's not enough small ball anymore. And everybody's, small ball is boring. We want to see gap doubles. okay, that's great. You want to see gap doubles. You're going to lose. You're going to lose because good teams that play good small ball are the ones that are holding the state championship or the regional championship at the end of the day.
Yep.
Like the amount of errors in these games, minimal. That means the amount of opportunities continue to shrink and shrink and shrink. So you have to put yourself in the best position to score. And hey, guess what? Pressure bursts pipes too.
Yep.
You know, we talk pressure being a privilege and pressure creating diamonds. Pressure bursts pipes. And if you're on third, that ball gets by the catcher on a wild pitch or a pass ball.
Yep.
Free run.
You put pressure on defenses, they might make a mistake. That's how South Range won the regional semifinal. You know, Selena De Jesus talked about it after the game. She kind of knew that center field was covering, and if I can just bait a bad throw, I'm scoring. That's smart softball IQ. And there was a mistake, and the throw did get in the center field, and Selena De Jesus did score. You put pressure on defenses, they might make mistakes, and if they do, you take advantage of them.
Well, and it's all about, and Jim saying that he coaches softball and loves to bunt. He plays small ball, but he's old school. And listen, with all the new technology and the new statistics and all this stuff, that part of the game, I don't think will ever change. I don't think it'll ever change. It's still statistically, bunting a baseball or softball is a fundamental talent. Fundamental talent. And at least from my standpoint, Anthony, it has been a lot less prevalent of a talent as of late. I can even say maybe 5-6 years ago, we saw better bunters, better IQ move the runners around than we're seeing right now because everybody's working on slaps and everybody's working on, hey, I'm going to make sure that my launch angle is at this particular degree. Bunt the damn ball. Like, that's all you have to do. You're a hero still, okay? You're part of the story of how that team wins by giving up and sacrificing yourself. I'm getting worked up. Sacrificing yourself for a teammate, for the team, to move them over. And guess what? Pass the baton on to the next person. And cheer for them. Try that. Cheer for them to get the RBI because guess what? If they win, hang on. Ready for this one? Novel idea. You win too. Like, nobody. I heard this earlier this season from about 30 people, Anthony, and I could not agree less. Division 1, 2, 3 JUCO coaches are not scouring Game Changer. They're not. They're not.
Someone says they are, they're not.
You're lying to yourself.
Yep.
They're not looking at your kid's Game Changer. I can promise you that. I'll ask Game Changer. They're going to tell us, nope. Like, you want to know what they're looking at? Does that kid know how to bunt? Will they sacrifice themselves for the greater good of the team in high school? Because I'll bet you dollars to donuts. If they're not willing to do it in high school, they're sure as hell not going to want to do it in college.
No way. You know, the talent you have will get the coaches to the field. The things that you do on the field are what gets you recruited. You know, they already know how talented you are. They wouldn't be there to watch you in your showcase or whatever wherever you're playing. It's what you do past your talent. Can you lay down bunts? Can you root for your team? Are you fun to watch? I shared a video from Patty Gasso, who is the head coach of Oklahoma, talking about what she looks for in recruits. And it's one of the things he said, are you someone who I think is genuinely fun to watch in the sense that you're playing softball the right way? That's something they look for. They already know how talented you are because that's why they're at the field watching you. They don't need to see you hit 3 home runs in that game to decide they're going to recruit you. They want to see all the other stuff. Show them all the other stuff.
Here we go. Game Changer stats are very tampered with, with the quotes.
Padded, tampered, whatever you want to call it.
Well, and listen, there's Game Changer people that get a lot of grief, and they have to go out and face music that they never even wrote.
Yep.
You know, because, hey, that shouldn't be an error. That should be a hit. Like, again, I'm here to tell you, and I'll tell you to your face if you really want to have a conversation about it, because we are partners with Game Changer, and we know what Game Changer is utilized for. And I can promise you that, what was the name of the Oklahoma coach, Anthony, that we all know the
Patty
name of
Gasser.
course? Yep. We know they're not looking at Game Changer. They're not sitting there going, okay, how many hits did they have in the first half of the season over the second half? How many RBIs does this person have according to Game Changer? They're not looking for that. They're looking for the smiles on your face. They're looking for, hey, does this kid go up and celebrate? Now, obviously, there's a talent component to it.
Right. Like I said, talent gets them to the field.
But, dude, like, they don't care if your kid went 1 for 3 or 3 for 3. Like, that makes no difference in how they're going to impact the lineup at the next level, because they're probably looking at, okay, what was the pitcher like? You know, is it some scrub? You know, what was the game like? What game situation? How are you conducting yourself in the field? You know, are you down and ready for every play? Are you ready for every play? Or are you in a situation where you're picking your nose or other orifices?
God.
You know, I'm being serious. Like, I've seen plays this year in baseball specifically, not softball, that players weren't even in position. Like, down and ready, like knees bent, ready to go in an athletic position. I've seen plays where players are not prepared.
Yep.
I've seen runner on first, Ant, nobody down, and the first baseman isn't holding in baseball. They're literally sitting there spitting sunflower seeds. But we're worried that we're going 2 for 3 instead of 3 for 3. I think the wires are a little bit crossed of what's important at this level. And I think that's the biggest thing is we're worried about regional championship, district championship, state. This is the conversation. We're talking about this, but we're not correcting the little things that turn into big things when the game's on the line.
Right.
Like, imagine that it's a tie ball game in the 7th inning of a regional championship in baseball, and your first baseman is spitting sunflower seeds and chatting up the first base dugout instead of holding the runner on, and that runner takes off, and now you've got game on the line, runner in scoring position, nobody down.
Right.
Do your job. Understand what your job is and do your job. And small ball in baseball and softball is elite.
Yep.
Yet fundamental at the same time. It's one of those weird Venn diagrams that you can build in, and you're like, the bunt right there in the middle. Small ball right there in the middle. Right. And people don't give enough appreciation. Here's what I'm going to promise you. Promise. At some point in our coverage this week, small ball will come into play, and it will make a difference between a win and a loss.
Right. Can you
agree? Disagree?
I absolutely agree. Close games, they're going to be close games. I guarantee them, because when you get further, the closer those games are going to get. And can you do the little things, which could be a bunt laid down, or even can you put the ball in play and move the runner? You know, it doesn't even have to be a bunt. Can you make sure that you're putting the ball on the ground to the right side and moving that runner if you're down to 2 strikes?
In my opinion, small ball is very inclusive.
Right.
And you talk about sacrifice flies, which, by the way, sacrifice fly is not advancing a runner from first to second or second to third. Stop it. That's not, no. That is a gutsy, ballsy base runner is what that is. That is not officially a sacrifice fly. It counts as an at-bat. Your kid flew out to left, center, or right. Like, let's not get into that game changer stat, by the way. But that being said, sacrifice fly to me is you hit the ball to the outfield to score the run. That's a sacrifice fly. I get it. I understand it. If you go by the bylaw of the rule and you break it down, dude, come on. Like, you sound like such a dweeb. Not you, Anthony. When people are saying, well, that's a sacrifice fly. My kid doesn't have an official because he got out. Okay. That's cool. But I think sacrifice flies are equally as important in one-run games.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you went up there and you did a job. You're playing it smart because you're swinging at a pitch that you can drive to the outfield to score a run.
Right. Exactly.
I don't think there's many people that go up there thinking to themselves, hey, all I need to do is move this runner from second to third on a sacrifice fly and give myself up.
Right.
Because that's not really a sacrifice. That's you missed the ball.
Right.
You missed a hit. Pitcher was better. So my 2 cents, not that it matters, but if we're giving out sacrifice fly championships, the only sacrifice fly that counts
are the ones with
is
the
third to
RBI
home.
attached. Yeah.
Right. Because I saw that. I was like, come on.
I could be wrong, but I think I heard this in one of the games I was watching. Does a sack bunt count as an at-bat, but a sack fly doesn't? Is that one of the weird stats? Where you're 0 for 1 if you have a sack bunt, but you don't have an at-bat if you had a sack fly? Is that weird? Or is that not weird? I feel like it's kind of weird.
Sack bunt, you don't have that attached to your.
So you're not 0 for 1 if you have a sack bunt.
No, if you're moving the runner from first to second, it shouldn't count against you.
Okay, I thought.
But there's people that'll sit there and they'll put sacrifice fly when they send it from deep into the corner and move the runner from first. No, you didn't. You were trying to do that. Like you were trying to nuke one out of the park,
and you missed.
Yeah. So I don't know. I always thought the sack fly only was home and everything else was just a fly out. And I believe that rule had to be changed because it used to be anytime you move the runner up, technically it was a sacrifice fly, which I never agreed with. I thought that was a cop-out. I actually thought it'll never happen. I actually thought that the runner should get a stolen base for that instead of whatever. Because to me, that's a stolen base, especially if you go from first to second.
If you have a runner on second and you ground the ball to the right side of the field and he goes to third, you don't get a sacrifice for that. Why do you get a sacrifice if you fly out and he moves over? That's stupid.
Some dad somewhere that was keeping score said, "Oh, my kid's really getting screwed today, or that's going to be a sacrifice." No, man. No. I mean, you really want to sacrifice that you do it intentionally. You show the world, I'm giving myself up, sacrificing myself to move that runner up. You're not sacrificing yourself by hitting a duck fart to the second baseman and because you got a fast kid at second, moving him up to third.
Right.
Greedy.
Welcome to our TED Talk about baseball, softball stats.
We didn't sacrifice anything on that TED Talk. I'll tell you that.
Thanks for sticking around. We have a lot of viewership sticking around too. Thank you. No, we appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we need to talk about some other teams, Ant, because we got a lot of teams playing in the state semifinals. Explain.
Yeah, we'll start with Boardman, the game that was broadcasted right alongside DJ doing the South Range game. Boardman went to Kent State. That was also scheduled for Friday, got pushed to Saturday against Louisville. It was an all YSN matchup, and boy, was it a pitcher's duel. I want to give a shout out to both pitchers, Caitlin Miller and Tori Strines. They both went at it for the whole game. It was 1-0 Louisville until I'm going to look, but I believe it was the 6th when Boardman finally came alive on offense and scored their runs. But man, it was such a pitcher's duel. Tori Strines right now, the way she's pitching, Boardman won, by the way, 3-1. Tori Strines, the way she's pitching, it's state championship caliber pitching. She shut out both the district semifinals and the district championship. Got a shutout in the regional semifinals against Talmadge, and now one run to Louisville. Louisville might be the best lineup they see the rest of the way. I mean, there's 41 combined home runs in Louisville's lineup. 3 of those hitters have double-digit home runs on their tally. So to be able to go up against that lineup and hold them to just 1 run, pretty dang incredible. So Boardman going on to the state semifinal for the first time since 2002, and that is what 20. I'm not gonna do the math for you. I'm not gonna.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's a long way away.
It's a long ways. But first time for Fred Moots, and he's been doing a great job just climbing that ladder every year, building that program up. And this year they get rewarded with a trip to state. So we're happy for Boardman. Congratulations to the
Hey,
Spartans.
AAC.
Let's go.
All American Conference. How about it?
Still represented. That's
Back in it.
different representative, but you're still there. Love it. Then Lakeview keeps the 88th streak going because they're in the state semifinals. They were able to beat Perry 5-1 in the regional finals. They were playing at Dalton, which you went to for South Ranges District, a great venue for softball. They jumped on Perry pretty early. They scored 4 runs really early. And then Perry was able to keep them kind of down, give themselves opportunities to win the game. But Ava Bacon, just like Tori Strines, pitched really well, kept Perry's offense down. And because of that, both of those teams are going to the state semifinals based on how well they pitched in the games. And pitching wins games. Pitching wins big games. They both have really good pitching staffs. So I can't wait to see what they do in the semis. Lakeview's going to play on Wednesday at 12:30 against Hillsboro. And Boardman gets Friday. They have to wait all the way until Friday. They play at 12:30 against Holland Springfield.
I don't like these wait until Friday
Yeah,
games.
that's weird.
I don't like wait until Wednesday games, if we're being honest. Because the Wednesday, Friday setup, I was having a conversation with Donnie Farron prior to the regional championship. I think it's too long. I think 3 days is plenty, especially in softball. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Yeah, the semifinals start on Wednesday, and they're fitting a lot of games into Firestone State. I think 21 games will happen between Wednesday and Saturday. So I think you could span that, make a little bit less pressure on yourself, and extend that a little bit more. Start them on Tuesday or something. And inevitably, someone was going to have to wait. I think unless you played all the semifinals first and then played all the championships, that could have been a way to go. Boardman's just they were scheduled for Friday. It was supposed to be a 7-day layoff, which I think is really wild. They got that rain day. Hopefully weather doesn't hit Akron. It's supposed to on Thursday and Friday, so we'll see what that does to the state semifinals as well. You might have to wait a little bit longer.
Oh boy. And we are hoping we're waiting official word to have both of those state semis on YSN. They will be audio only broadcast. Just FYI, so don't shoot the messenger, but certainly trying to make sure that we have it for you here on YSN, especially given you said they're both 12:30 starts, right?
Yeah, 12:30 on Wednesday for Lakeview, 12:30 on Friday for Boardman.
Is that the early game, like the earliest game?
No, I think there's a 10 a.m. game both days too.
That's right.
If Lakeview wins, they'll play Thursday at 3 for their championship. If Boardman wins, they go primetime, 8 o'clock on Saturday for their championship.
All right, explain that one to me, because that's the one where I was waiting for you to drop the news. 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
On a Saturday? Is that the last game?
That's the last game of the day. Probably the last championship, too, because I think championship Saturdays are all the championships. But yeah, they're using the lights. They're putting them under the lights at Firestone. So,
do you like that or no?
I don't mind it. I like a state championship, under the lights. That's kind of a big deal. Softball players in high school don't usually get the opportunity to go under the lights. I know baseball does its scene a lot. You don't get a lot of softball games under the lights. So I think it's cool to have a primetime under the lights championship game. That might be a fun experience for those players. Yes, it's late, and it's going to be a late night for whoever wins, especially if someone that is far away from Akron wins that game. They might have to stay the night, extra hotel stay, but man, that experience has to be worth it. I think there's something to be said about playing a championship under the lights. It's where it's supposed to be.
Go from 12:30 to 8 o'clock. I think that's crazy. I think it's absolutely ludicrous to do. I mean, cool, yes, but
I think they'll have 7. Well, no, not 7 state championships because they're played day after day, but they'll have championships there. I think from like 2 to 8. Mike Swinehart probably knows the whole championship schedule.
It's like your dream right there for you. 7 championships just taking place.
A couple of them scheduled on Sunday too. So.
Oh, okay. I don't know, man. I don't want to be the guy that sits there and just pokes holes in everything, but let's say you're 3 hours away from Akron.
Yep.
And you lose that 8 o'clock game. Oh, dude.
You're staying the night in Akron.
You don't want to be there at all. You don't want to be anywhere near Akron, Ohio in that scenario. We are very fortunate that we're very close,
Yes.
relatively speaking, to Akron, Ohio. But I'll tell you this, if you're Southwest Ohio and you're there, you lose that 8 o'clock game, let's say, oh boy. It's you're not hungry after the game. Like all you want to do, like your entire season flashes before your eyes. Come on, hey, I can't. I don't know. I'm torn on this one.
Yeah, there are some negatives, but I still like the experience of playing a championship under the lights. I think that's a cool thing that softball players don't usually get to do in high school, at least.
I just hope everybody has a good time.
Yeah.
Hope everybody has a good time.
Go teams.
That's all we can hope for.
Go teams.
All right,
yeah.
so go ahead.
I was going to mention that the Mohawks playing today in their state tournament as well. So softball, as we're wrapping up softball, I don't want to forget about the Warriors.
Go Warriors. Go Warriors. We're behind you. You might not be able to see us. We're behind you. So, yeah, we also, over the weekend, I don't want to forget about this. I don't know how you could ever forget about this. Mayhem at the Maronite took place at the Maronite Center in Youngstown, Ohio on Saturday night. And yours truly, Sam Torres, as he was Uncle Sam Torres that night, Brian Scott, and the wonderful and mesmerizing Rob Johnson in attendance for YSN. We had a 4-camera setup thanks to Rob and Spotlight Media. So, hey, Rob, appreciate you as always. First time running it through, Kelly Pavlik, Ghost Promotions. And it was a night, and it was an absolute gem of a night. And a lot of great fights, a lot of talent coming up through the ranks and through those ropes. Because I'll tell you what, I'm not getting in with any of those dudes. Fight of the night goes to a fighter, and fight of the night goes to Seven Earth from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I think he was fighting a lad from Youngstown, Ohio. Trying to remember what his name was. Sam will help me here in a minute. It was unbelievable. I mean, it was the heavyweight division, and these guys were throwing haymakers left, right, up, down. I mean, it was up, down, A, B, all that stuff. It felt like Mike Tyson Punch Out. Like Molina. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate you, Molina. Fight of the night, unbelievable. Kelly put on a great show for everybody. Cannot wait to do it again and answer any question out there. Yes, I am now into the crazy suits. I'm in the crazy suit game with Jeff Fishel.
Jeff, let's go.
In case you didn't see the gem of a suit that I had on. Did you see it, Ant?
I did on Facebook. It looked amazing.
Stars on the jacket, blue coat, sport coat with the white stars on the jacket, white shirt, red and white striped tie, red pants, and the Americana Boombas on the toes, baby. America.
Awesome.
And when
America.
you know what they played when I got in there? And I was doing it, baby. I was doing it up. Dancing like I was 19 years old again.
Yeah, Sam Torres is living in America blasting.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. Great conversation with Sam. Always great. And energy was high. Brian, I think we got a little toe tap out of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe a smile every now and then.
Mm.
Smirk. We'll go with a smirk.
Smirk. Right? Maybe a little rustle.
He didn't call anyone an idiot, so hopefully.
That's true. That's true. He was thinking it for sure when he was looking at me. There's no doubt in my mind. Rob Johnson, we had him stitching up the entire time. He was laughing. Everybody had a good time. A lot of local talent, dude. A lot of local talent around this area in the boxing game. Hey, boxing, you're back. You're back, boxing. Welcome back. So yeah, that happened. So next time we say go somewhere, let's go. Let's do it. That's it. How's the rest of your weekend, pal?
It was good. We had a kind of a slow weekend after the Boardman game, but being up in Kent was really fun. What a great facility, by the way. Kent State, that was my first time being at Kent State softball. So I want to thank them for their hospitality. They actually, when Rob Johnson was there for the semifinals for Louisville, he had him set up in the press box. And they very kindly were like, hey, we're not going to make you go to the press box. You can sit up in this landing down at the bottom of the bleachers. So that was very kind of them to not make me climb up the bleachers to get into the press box. So I want to thank the fine people at Kent State for accommodating that. And a pretty slow weekend the rest of the way, watching some WCWS softball and catching up on a couple of stories from the regional finals that happened on Saturday. So we had a good weekend, though. I think our content is still better than ever. I think we're approaching, actually, I was counting on Sunday, we're approaching 1,000 pieces of content for the spring sports season. We're very close.
Whew.
Very close.
Well, we're going to add to it tomorrow because we've got some gems on the show tomorrow. I know Matt Weimer potentially on the show tomorrow at some point, whether it's taped or live. We don't know quite yet, but maybe we can pull him in a live interview. We're going on at noon. Like, we got some time. If I can make it to the game, so can he. He's way closer over in Canada. And then we have a couple players and perhaps another coach.
Yeah. We have Addie Rudd from Boardman, the impressive freshman catcher, going to be coming on at 12:15. Fred Moots at 12:30 for talking about his perspective of going to state from the coach's perspective. And then 12:45 from Lakeview, Calissa Warner, who in that regional final game collected her 100th career RBI, not hit, RBI, as a junior, by the way. So we're going to be talking to her as well.
So it sounds like we have a jam-packed show for you on a Tuesday right here on YSN Live. We're going to end today's show like we always do with the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical. They're available to you. Yes, you, on the web, 24/7, 365 at DickeyElectric.com. All right. What's your spark, Ronald?
My spark today goes to yesterday. Well, yeah, over the weekend. It's graduation weekend for a lot of the high school seniors. I know some of them were last weekend. Some of them will be next weekend. But most of the ones that I saw happened this weekend. And I just want to congratulate all the seniors that did graduate. But one of the things I got to see on social media that kind of made me a little bit nostalgic is how my church, I know my church has been a spark a couple of times lately, handles the graduation ceremonies that they have for the kids that go to the high school ministry for the church. They really do it up. Sam Rodriguez, the high school minister now at Greenford Christian Church, does a really good job hyping up the kids and making sure they're loved and feel special for getting this moment done in their lives and graduating. And I want to just reflect on that because I reflected on my time as a high school in the high school ministry at the church. So congratulations to all the seniors, and we wish you the best of luck in the rest of the ventures that you have in the future. We can't wait to see what you do after YSN. We don't stop supporting you after you leave the YSN family as an athlete. So keep doing great things. Let us know when you do great things, and we'll definitely prop you up.
Much like your parents, we'll still be watching. Maybe just not financially backing you.
Right.
Get a little attaboy, attagirl. Hey, go make your own mistakes. Get out there. Hey, by the way, Sam, good job out there. Good job putting these high schoolers in great position and showcasing them. My spark, I mean, I feel like I always give my spark away like the night before on my social media channel. Dude, listen, wife is putting together enchiladas or something crazy like that I didn't think I liked and turned out I loved in the kitchen. So shout out Sarah Yoakley, Mrs. YSN, for always putting delicious food, probably way more than I need to eat on the table. But she's doing the cooking and all that stuff, and I don't know what I was doing, probably not a whole lot. And I hear my kids on the couch, and Z's reading to Bella. So I popped around real quick and just make sure, because as a parent of a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, typically you got about 30-second window before just stuff goes sideways. So popped open the camera, and dude, the smile that he gave, the amount of pride that he had of reading that book, whatever it was about a tree, to his little sister. And I think I told you, 1 million home runs, 1 million buckets, 1 million touchdowns, every honor that you could get as a graduate of a high school, college, put them all together, shake them up, and it will never make me feel as proud as I was in that moment right there of a first grader reading a book to his little sister, and she's just marching right behind him every step of the way, repeating everything that he says. Man, what a moment. What a moment to be a dad. What a moment to just, sports, very important to me, but I want my son to do him. I want my daughter to be able to be her. And to see those two come together, if you know the backstory, you know the backstory. But, man, what a moment. So, hey, Lisa Fullerton over there, first grade teacher for South Range. You did it, babe. You did it.
You did it.
Thank you.
He's reading. You did it.
He's
you taught him well. Hooked on
the
phonics.
Generosity. That's where it's at. I mean, to be able to do it, with confidence and the gusto that he had with because if you go back and listen to it, Ant, he was bringing it. He was throwing good fastball on that book. Good tempo, good diction, you would say.
Yeah.
Probably at this point reads better than I do. So definitely reads more.
Deedley got stuck at the first grade level.
And it was a battle.
It was a battle.
I took that to the 12th round and I lost. And I'm proud to say that I went that far. So, no, and I actually started a new book after that. Like not reading, but listening, an audiobook. But, I'm not much of a reader per se. I'm more of a writer these days, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Clear up. So yeah, we got that. Hey, it's been a hell of a show, Ant. Nice job. Way to get through Monday. We got a Jump Hawk Tuesday right here on YSN Live. We don't want you to miss anything, so make sure that you like, subscribe wherever you are on social media, or bookmark ysnlive.com if that's where you're watching. I know my wife watches that way. I know a lot of people watching that way now. So, but get into the conversation on social media, Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch and X. X gonna give it to you.
X gonna give it to you.
Yeah. That's gonna do it for our show. We've tap danced long enough here. We appreciate you for tuning in, and thank you to our sponsors over at Greenwood Chevrolet and Toyota of Warren. And may sports be with you, pal.
And you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.